Form for English Language Paper 3 Integrated Listening, Reading and Writing. You should have on your desk a question-answer book for Part A and Part B and a data file. For the question-answer book, there are altogether 8 pages. For the data file, including the cover page, there are 9 pages. Please check that there are no missing pages. Put up your hand if you have any problems. Please write your name, class and class number on your question-answer book and the data file. Instructions. 1. There are 2 parts, A and B, in this paper. You should attempt both Part A and Part B. 2. Write your answers clearly and neatly in the spaces provided in this question-answer book. Answers written in the margins will not be marked. You are advised to use a pencil for Part A and a pen for Part B. 3. All listening materials will be played once only. 4. Do not write your answers in the data file. Answers written in the data file will not be marked. The listening examination is about to begin. Please turn over to page 2 of your question-answer book. Part A. Situation. You are John, Secretary of the Social Service Club at your school. You and other committee members are doing a few tasks for the club. In Part A, you will have a total of 2 tasks to do. Follow the instructions in the question-answer book and on the recording to complete the tasks. You will find all the information you need in this question-answer book and on the recording. You now have 1 minute to familiarize yourself with tasks 1-2.
Task 1, page 3.
You and Tammy are in charge of the Elderly Service Project. You are now filling in a form to apply for financial aid for the project from the Student Council. Listen to the conversation and complete the form below. You now have 30 seconds to study the task. At the end of the task, you will have 1 minute to tidy up your answers.
Hey, John. I just got a form to apply for financial aid for our elderly service project. Could you help me fill it in while I go through the details?
Sure. Let me see. You've written down the name of the activity, New Year Delights. I think we could add more information in brackets about the activity.
Yes, that's better. Why don't you write service for the elderly? It's simple and clear.
All right, I'll do that. So, it's New Year Delights, service for the elderly. Now, for the dates. Was it February that we agreed on?
Yes, we talked about it at our last meeting. It'll be a 1-week activity that will take place before the Chinese New Year.
So the exact dates are from the 1st of February to the 7th of February, right?
Let me double check. Yes, the 1st to the 7th of February.
Now, how many students will take part in the project?
20. That's what we agreed on.
Oh, yes. So, 20 it is.
Oh, wait. We must not forget the committee members. With them, we'll have 28 participants in total.
Got it. Let me write down 28 then. Next is the description of the activity. That's easy. We'll visit elderly people who live alone.
We should enter more information about what we'll do so that the student council will know why we are applying for the fund.
No problem. The elderly people we visit live alone, and they often feel lonely. So our major task is to listen and talk to them.
Yes, listening and talking to them will surely make them feel less lonely. We'll also prepare festive food for them. Since it'll be Chinese New Year, they'll definitely like some festive food.
But some elderly people may not like festive food, since it's too oily for them.
In that case, we could bring them some gifts.
Okay, so we will prepare both festive food and gifts. Now, let's move on. Which of the following areas does your activity belong to? Well, it definitely has nothing to do with academics. Shall we choose global awareness then? An aging population is a global trend.
But I think our service is aimed at the community level.
You're right. So I'll tick this one. Now, let's talk about the budget.
First, we'll cover transport for all of the participants. That's $20 each. As there are 28 participants, it's a total of $560.
$560 sounds right. Next, I see you've put down promotion. We are promoting the event mainly through the internet, so I thought we didn't need to pay for promotion.
Well, we'll still have to print and put up posters to promote the activity. But that shouldn't cost much. I guess $140 will do.
Okay, $140 isn't too much. How about the food we just talked about?
Well, I did a brief estimation. $1,000 would be enough. But to play it safe, let's make it $1,200.
All right. How about the gifts? Didn't you say we'd bring them some gifts?
Oh, I forgot about that. We just said that we'd buy gifts for those who may not be able to enjoy the food. I think it's fair that we cut down on our budget for food and use some of that money for the gifts instead. Don't you think so?
No objection.
Great. Let's change it to $700 for food and $500 for gifts.
Okay, let me put all of that down. So the total expenditure is
$1,900.
$1,900. Didn't you say we've got some sponsorship?
Yes. Tomato Express has offered to provide $500 of sponsorship.
Tomato Express? The cafe near our school?
Yes, that's the one. After deducting their sponsorship, we'll still need $1,400 from the Student Council.
Got it. Great. We're done.
This is the end of task 1. You now have 1 minute to tidy up your answers. Task 2, page 4.
You and Tammy are asking Edwin and the teacher advisors, Ms. Law and Mr. Chan, for their opinions on the elderly service project. They are now telling you what they think about the project. As you listen, complete the table below. You now have 30 seconds to study the task. At the end of the task, you will have 2 minutes to tidy up your answers.
Good morning, everyone. Here's the plan John and I have compiled for the Elderly Service Project. Ms. Law and Mr. Chan, it'd be great if you could give us some feedback on our plan.
No problem.
Edwin, your comments are welcome too.
Sure. Let's see what we have here. First, the project is named New Year Delights.
I like the project name. It gives people a jolly feeling. Don't you think so, Ms. Law?
Well, I'm not sure about that. I mean, I can't really tell the nature of the project from New Year Delights.
Really? I think the word delights gives a sense of joy and pleasure. That's what we want to bring to the elderly people, right?
Actually, I like it too. I think it's an appropriate name.
Well, but I can't tell that this is a home visit activity from the name.
Oh, I see what you mean. Tammy, you'd better add a subtitle to make it clearer. Next, you're proposing that we recruit only senior students as volunteers.
I don't think that's a good idea. You should give junior students a chance.
I absolutely agree with you, Ms. Law. The Social Service Club has both junior student members and senior student members. I'm sure some of the junior students will want to join this meaningful event, so we should give them a chance.
Well, I totally understand your point. But you're visiting elderly people who live alone. You're not visiting a nursing home. So junior students may not be mature enough for this project.
So, Mr. Chan, do you think it's okay to recruit only senior students as volunteers for this project?
Yes, I think so.
All right, let me see what else we have here. We're bringing something to the elderly, like food and gifts.
Ah, I like this idea. That way, we can let them know we care about them.
I like the gifts you've chosen too. Scarves are very practical, considering the time of year.
Yeah, the weather is expected to be quite cold this winter. The scarves will help keep them warm during New Year. Personally, I think that handing out gifts to the elderly is an excellent icebreaker. Now, one last thing. John and Tammy are proposing having an outdoor exercise session. What do you think, Ms. Law?
I don't think an outdoor exercise session will work.
Oh, why? I like this idea. It sounds fun.
Well, Edwin, the idea may sound fun to young people, but not all elderly people are fit enough to go out and do exercise.
Yes, Miss Law has a good point. Not all elderly people are fit enough to join. So I'd say whether or not to include an outdoor exercise session will depend on how many elderly people can actually participate in it. I'm neutral on this.
All right, I think that's all we have. Is there anything else you would like to comment on? No? Tammy, I guess that's all we have to say about your plan.
Great. Thanks, Ms. Law and Mr. Chan. Thank you too, Edwin. We'll change the plan according to your opinions.
This is the end of Task 2 and Part A. You now have 2 minutes to complete your answers to Task 2 and to tidy up all your other answers.
Part B, Data File, page 2, Situation. You are Sally Chan. You are a new assistant to David Tong, a senior officer at a charity called Utopia Hong Kong. David Tong is giving a talk on the Utopia Hong Kong Open Day to people who are interested in being volunteers. You will listen to the talk in which David will introduce Utopia Hong Kong to the visitors. Before the recording is played, you will have 5 minutes to study the question-answer book and the data file to familiarize yourself with the situation and the tasks. Complete the tasks by following the instructions in the question-answer book and on the recording. You will find all the information you need in the question-answer book, the data file, and on the recording. As you listen, you can make notes on page 3 of the data file. You now have 5 minutes to familiarize yourself with the question-answer book and the data file. The recording is about to begin. Turn to page 3 of the data file. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm David Tong, Senior Officer at Utopia Hong Kong. Thank you all for coming to the Utopia Hong Kong Open Day, and thank you for attending this talk. I hope you'll learn more about Utopia Hong Kong today and find that Utopia is a charity you would like to support. At this talk, I'll briefly introduce Utopia Hong Kong and some projects we're doing or we're planning to do. We'll have a Q&A session at the end of the talk. You're most welcome to stay behind for the Q&A session. First of all, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of Utopia International. Utopia Hong Kong is one of its branches. Utopia International is a charity that devotes itself to alleviating urban social problems. The Utopia Hong Kong branch supports this cause locally and focuses on urban social issues. The Hong Kong branch was set up in 1997. Since our founding in 1997, Utopia Hong Kong has launched a lot of activities that aim to help alleviate social problems. We know it's never easy to alleviate social problems, so we've decided to work more effectively by focusing on aiding specific target groups. We've chosen 2 particular groups as our service targets, and we try to address the needs of our service targets through our activities. Also, we believe that our activities can help promote compassion among volunteers. In other words, our activities do not only benefit our service targets, they also benefit the public, since they help promote compassion. As I just said, we have chosen 2 particular groups as our service targets. They are the disabled and new immigrants. These 2 groups of minorities face many problems in their daily lives, and in fact, some of the problems they face are very similar. For example, both groups experience a sense of isolation. The disabled are often neglected by society, while the new immigrants feel like outsiders. Neither group feels that they are part of the society. This sense of isolation may lead to many other problems, so Utopia Hong Kong tries to provide activities or services to help them overcome it. For new immigrants who may feel like outsiders, we organize a series of language courses and talks on the local culture. These language courses and talks would help the new immigrants understand the local culture and feel comfortable in society as soon as they can. And for the disabled who feel neglected, we regularly provide them with recreational activities. We hope they will feel that they're part of the society by interacting with our volunteers through these recreational activities on a regular basis. Another difficulty that the disabled face is finding jobs. It's often not their disability that prevents them from finding jobs, but the fact that they're not given a chance to demonstrate what they can do. In view of this, Utopia Hong Kong offers workshops that help them develop their interview skills. We hope improving their interview skills will help them land a job more easily. Well, to keep the talk short, I'll end my discussion of our service targets and move on to the projects we're doing or planning to do. First of all, we're recruiting volunteers for a project called 50 Hearts, One Dream. This project aims to help new immigrants from various ethnic backgrounds integrate into society. The participating immigrants and volunteers will take part in various activities together. We hope the activities and interaction with volunteers will help these new immigrants from different ethnic backgrounds integrate into society. On the other hand, The volunteers will increase their awareness of ethnic minorities through this project. We've appointed Mr. Ansh Kundra as the coordinator of the project. Yes, I see some of you are taking notes. Ansh Kundra is an Indian name, and it is spelt Ansh. Ansh, Kundra. Kundra. Ansh is a Hong Kong-born Indian. Given his local background, he's fluent in Cantonese, Mandarin, English, and 3 Indian languages. We believe Ansh's mastery of different languages and dialects will help him build connections between people from various ethnic backgrounds, including our volunteers, so that we can overcome cultural and language barriers in our community. Well, the next project that I'd like to talk about is still not yet confirmed, but I'd like to briefly introduce it in order to gain more support from you, our potential supporters and volunteers. We're now planning a Utopia Marathon to raise funds for the mentally disabled. We want to build a Utopia house with the funds raised. We hope the mentally disabled will be able to learn and work in our Utopia house. Since building an institute for our service targets is a new experience for us, I really hope with your support we can make it reality. Well, that's all I have to say about Utopia today. Now, if you have any questions, please feel free to approach me, or you can... This is the end of the listening component of this test.
You now have 1 hour for the written tasks. You have 15 minutes left. You have 5 minutes left. Make sure you have written down your name, class and class number in the spaces provided. Cross out all unwanted materials. You will not be allowed to write anything after the time and up announcement.